All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are we all doing today? This is going to be a really important stream. A really important stream. So, we're living in the days of deception. Something I've noticed recently over the last year is the amount of deception when it comes to this work. All right. And obviously, the Word of God, the Bible, we know all about the false prophets that we warned about in the Holy Bible. But this work that we do is so important. And if it's put in the wrong hands, it can lead to destruction. And somebody give me an amen. And what you're seeing now, you're seeing all these people set up Instagram pages, websites, Patreons. Some of them are making hundreds of thousands of dollars, so they claim. And you see their reaction videos or how they missed out on $500,000 or how they made $500,000. But they tell us that they're basically middle class. Yet they're betting 20, 30, 40,000 on games. This is going to be very important. Pascal, much love to you. Pascal knows where this stream's going. So I did a stream yesterday. A lot of you probably watched it. I literally broke the matrix. I broke the matrix with my Greenland code, which has less than 500 views. Less than 500 views. Right? And I lost 9 subscribers overnight. And it's constant. It's constant. I'm back to 14.4 thousand. Right. So don't trust the algorithm. For a start, you cannot trust the algorithm. Now, I don't know where to start with this because there's so many ways I can go with this. This NCAA basketball tournament. March Madness. I've called the winner maybe 3 times in 6 years, right? I'm not interested anymore in coding these winners in every tournament, okay? Did that for 3 years, proved myself, coded hundreds of futures, right? I know I can do it, and I still do it, but not as often as others would like me to do, all right? Because I'm obviously preaching the gospel, I'm exposing darkness, I'm exposing the government, whatever it may be that I'm doing daily, and Hollywood. But I did tell you before this tournament began, you're going to see loads of games go to the death, all right? Dramatic wins. They're going to call it March Madness Magic, right? And you keep saying that. You keep saying that word, magic, right? And I did a 3 code yesterday about this magic. And again, if it was somebody who's being controlled by the government or the CIA or whoever it may be, Vegas, whoever it is, who have these Instagram pages, they would get hundreds of thousands of views for this one code that I did in 30 seconds, right? But no, I'll get like 6 likes on Twitter, and that's the reality of this. So I'm gonna start off first with some Bible verses, then we're gonna really get into everything, right? I will definitely pray for David and you who are going to be on the streets in San Francisco. Hopefully you video it. I can share that. The work that you're doing is really good. It's obviously difficult for people to accept, but the way you should approach that golden age deception is ultimately try and save that one lost sheep. You're going to speak to perhaps hundreds of people. There might only be one that you get through to. Okay, so don't feel downhearted by doing it. They're not all going to go, wow. All right, don't go there with that expectation where everybody's going to go, wow, really? This is incredible. I had no idea. They're not. But there will be a few of them that are open to it, and you could really change their life. So God bless you, and I will pray for you and David after this stream. All right, so Bible tells us in Galatians 6, 7 through 8, be not deceived, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to this flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap everlasting life. So you're getting a lot of these celebrities and all these TikTokers, YouTubers, Instagrammers, all right, now claiming Jesus. The guy I'm going to talk about today was talking about how he's a Christian flat earther. A Christian flat earther, all right? And remember, the Bible says in Proverbs 12:22, lying lips are abomination to the Lord, but they that deal truly are his delight. All right, those who preach the gospel, the truth, those who preach Jesus as the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Alpha and Omega, who preach the fullness of the scriptures, all right, who generally want to expose the darkness. Can I get an amen? We have to be real with this work when it comes to gematria, numerology, sports picks. 90% of people are not very good, and 90% of people only do it for money. All right, you don't see them coding after the fact, very rarely, to try and help people. Very few people are leading people to the Bible or exposing the black magic behind it, the actual ritual behind it. So you'll see, like I've told you, every man and his dog is a sports decoder now, breaking the matrix, right? But there's very few that actually are. The ones that are actually doing it, like me, are just hidden away, right? Because I've never had one viral video, and I've done 2,000, and I've predicted thousands of things before anybody has. All right, in every possible thing you can imagine. So again, Psalms 52:2, thy tongue deviseth mischiefs like a sharp razor working deceitfully. You have to understand that these people, right, they have the spirit of the Antichrist, is what they have, and they're so delusional, and they reveal themselves as angels of light, and they have to gain your trust, which is why a lot of these sports handicappers at the beginning will get things right. All right, and then they'll say, right, you've made that bank, now I would invest it all on this. And then that pick loses. You see it over and over and over again. Like in March Madness, the brackets, okay, you've won all of this. All right, now I'm going to show you who's going to win it. You want to put it all down on this. Put it all down on Duke. All right, don't cash out if they're up by 19 points. Like, who in their right mind wouldn't do that? Okay, they don't give you that knowledge. They don't give you that information. So people win the money. They've gained the trust of these people. Then everyone's like, oh, you need to go follow this guy. You need to support this guy. You need to sign up to his website. Look, he's basically making us all rich. And then he does a video, he gains your trust. Right, you all need to lock down on this. This is a lock. This is Super Lock City. This is a mega lock. All right, everything you own, put it on this pick. You won't be disappointed. It's going to change your life. You can buy a Ferrari like me. Okay, Lamborghini. All right, big house. All you have to do is follow through with this one, and then they lose like with the last shot of the game. And something I've noticed as well. All right, yeah, I am in Mexico. God bless you. You in San Diego? I visit there a few times. Maybe one time we can meet up. So really pay attention to what I'm saying here, guys. This is important. This is actually incredibly important, because a lot of you guys in the chat may be new to this. All right, you've got to be careful who you follow. Like Golden Age Deception's brilliant. Pascal in the chat is brilliant. There's loads of people on my website that are really good. Right? But if you go down the wrong route, with the wrong coder, or same with like the Bible, if you start following these false preachers, if you go follow somebody like Kenneth Copeland, you're going to be deceived. All right, or somebody like Tucker Carlson. You've got to be careful who you're following, because they'll take you on the highway to hell, guys. So this person, right, a lot of people message me. I know when it's a red flag with an account, when I have multiple people send me videos of these coders. Check this out. This is incredible. What do you think of this illusion? I'm like, okay, hundreds of thousands of views. Doing the work. I've been doing Kobe Bryant codes for 6 years. Probably better than anybody. All right, let's be real. Let's be honestly real about that. All right, I'm not conning you or anything. That's a reality. Yeah, this person will do a Kobe riddle, and it's like the greatest thing ever. Wow, did you see that, Kobe? Did you see that 824? Did you see the 666? Can you believe this? Yeah. I wrote about it 6 years ago, all of these numbers. I used Kobe numbers for 6 years straight in all sports. Why are you showing me this? All right, why are you showing me this? Like, all that information I shared 6 years ago. So what you want me to do? And oh, look at this, I can't believe this. Like, a Duke a lock. And interestingly, when I was getting these videos, it was after I found all the stuff for Duke. All right. And then I was getting all these videos. Oh, I saw your post. Like, have you seen this guy's video? I was like, no, but let me look. And he said basically Duke was a lock. They were going to win March Madness, something about St. John's, and something about 24 and Kobe. And then obviously 24 hit the game winner for UConn. And I was talking about con in my stream with Dustin, one of con artists, conniving, using that term con. And then UConn come back from 19 points down against Duke. All right, second favorites to win behind Arizona. This is, again, what you need to look at. So with this guy, I'll cover him a little bit later, right? Yeah, Tucker's clearly CIA. Anders, God bless you. Everybody watching, smash the like button and stay tuned for this whole stream. This could help you. All right. So I'll share my screen with you all, and we'll read what it's saying here. But the fact that this black magic is going on at college level, which again I've said for 6 years, should blow your mind. Because like I said, I lived in LA, I lived all over the US. I was friends with people who had scholarships at college. The girl I dated called Annie had a full scholarship with LMU in track and field. All right, there's some magic above these players, but again, track and field is not NCAA basketball. But basically, this guy said that Duke didn't win because Satan flipped the script. And YouTube, stop removing likes, you joke of a platform, you disgraceful platform, right? Unbelievable, every day, man. Okay? Too much truth being revealed on this channel. So he said that the only reason Duke lost and blew a lead was because Satan flipped the script because he was scared of this one guy exposing Satan. And like I said, I've done hundreds of futures better than his code. Satan doesn't have an issue because he knows people are blind. He knows people's minds and hearts are blinded by him. Okay? And just so you know, this guy is an avid sports fan. He goes to all the games, he gets all this money, he travels around the US, all right, going to all these games, placing these huge bets, all right? He's got his wife, his young child, and he used to be a door-to-door salesman, and now he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars from sports picks. I'm not having it at all. He's got this green Lamborghini, posted the photo on the anniversary of Freemasonry being founded. Anyway, I got speaking to him yesterday or messaging him. And we were going back and forth. I sent him some information. He was like, okay, wow. And then he said, if you keep sending me more, I'll promote you. Like I did with the other guy. And I said, I don't need promoting. I'm here to expose the darkness and the deception. And then he said, ha, ha, ha. You've got a lot to learn. And he blocked me. So because I didn't play along with him, I never insulted him other than I said, you can't seriously believe the devil flipped the script on a tournament because of your Instagram reel. So obviously that hit his ego and his pride. And it's quite clear that he's not genuine. Right? Because supposedly he could have made $500,000 if Duke won. And he didn't even cry. He didn't get angry. He stayed calm. All right. And it's like, that's not how you react. Maybe if you're a billionaire, all right, but not him who was a door-to-door salesman. He's only been doing this a few years. All right. It's just like, oh, that sucks. No, that's not how anyone would react. Can somebody give me a woo? You would not react like that. I don't even think I'd film myself. All right. Back in the day, if I won $500,000, I'd go live. I'd have to tell you, you'd be so buzzing, wouldn't you? But I wouldn't have a camera on me. All right. And you see it. It's not just this guy. All over my Instagram, there's all these reaction videos. And what people don't understand is that this can be done after the game. Can somebody give me a woo? Dave, love you, brother. Stay tuned for this. All these reaction videos, right? Guys, you do know that you can do a reaction video hours afterwards because you can replay the moment. All right. And you see that reaction videos come out hours after, days after. And it's like, it's energy harvesting. It's this one guy, and I don't know his name. You guys might be able to help me out. All right. He shares videos of like clear deception in sports. So you look at it at first glance and go, okay, he's exposing these sports to a certain degree. So it's like, all he had to do was get fouled, for example. How did he turn it over? Whatever it is that he shows, but he's screaming. He's screaming in the video. Anybody know his name? All right. You cannot be serious. All he had to do was take the foul. Oh my word. Vegas are working overdrive. Can you believe this? All right. And then everyone's like leaving comments like, ha ha ha, crazy. And another thing that I noticed, right? Tanya, these videos, they're so deceptive. Is you read the comments, I don't think these comments are even human beings anymore. I did a post yesterday, right? Let me see if I can show you this. I did a post, and the two people who retweeted it, all right, the two people who retweeted it don't exist. Like, maybe I can go here. This person comes in, right, starting to have a go at me with 0 followers. All right, after I did a post, 0 followers. Witchcraft, yeah, right. Okay. Now, the people who are retweeting it are not real. I can't even find them. But it was basically like porn stars or something. Is it? Anyway, I can't find them. I'm like, these people don't exist. So I'll show you this now, right? This, if anybody else did this or had a production team behind them, it would go viral. I do this stuff every day, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day. Right? Like, UConn's magical 19-point comeback, that's what they were calling it, versus Duke. And showed they got their 33rd season win with 0.3 seconds left from a three-pointer over number 3, 3 weeks and 3 days after the anniversary of Duke's 2025 collapse versus Houston, where they scored 33 in the second half and lost by 3 in a game which had 137 points, the 33rd prime number. 3 is a magic number. Magic equals 33. Game was on Palm Sunday. Jesus rose from the dead on the 3rd day, and UConn came back from the dead to claim victory. All right? Now, I've got this photo here, 24. He's got his arms outstretched, all right, like the Baphomet's horns. Like the Baphomet's horns. And there's the confirmation, 67 plus 70, 137, 33rd prime. Duke lose by 3, right? 33 points in the second half. And they were cruising it. And then they collapse. Back-to-back collapses. Back-to-back collapses. And that, what, 12 likes. I'm saying this to prove a point to you. Okay? And the time between this collapse and the collapse yesterday, 11 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. Master numbers, 1133. Right? Add up those numbers, it's 44. The final 4 begins on 4-4. All right? 4, 4, 4. Can I get a woo? Again, it's like this. It has 30-something likes. It's an absolute disgrace. I'm going to let it all out today. Give me a few woos. I'm going to really let it all out today. Okay? You guys who've followed me for a very long time, you know that the work that I do every single day is better than pretty much anyone online. It's stupid 45 people watching. It's just such a joke. All right? I'm not saying you guys are. I'm so grateful for you, but it's such a joke every single day. So, yeah, look. 24. Kobe. The numbers come back to Kobe. But what people need to know is that the 24, right, it's not just about Kobe. And this is what they won't teach you. It's just like, yeah, Kobe wore 24. Why? Why did he wear 24? All right. Why was his highest scoring game his 666 game? Why did he die at 497 months and 3 days old and 4,973 is the 666 prime? Why did he have a 666 workout plan? Why did he make his NBA debut at age 18, 6 plus 6 plus 6? Why did LeBron and the Lakers beat the Heat on National Father Daughter Day, the year Kobe and his daughter supposedly passed away? These are the questions you should be asking. How can Duke blow a 19-point lead with that stacked roster? Okay? These questions need to be asked, and they're not. So they'll be like, yeah, number 24, he won it for Kobe. All right, why was he 24? Hey, Christopher, God bless you. Ziggy, Esteban. Didn't get the notification. What a surprise. That's another thing with my platform. Senor Moa, much love. Tant the Chai Guy, how you doing? Dave, love you a bit, brother. Okay. Again, it's just unbelievable. So 24 elders in Revelation are celestial figures sitting on thrones around God's throne dressed in white with golden crowns. Right? Now, Kobe's statue. Can you see? It's white. Yep. It's white. And Kobe, again, maybe I told you that dramatic music. All right. Something like that whilst I'm talking. I speak really slow. All right. Look deeply into the camera to you for 30 seconds so I can keep your attention. All right. But Kobe Bryant, right, always connected to angels, all right, with the angel wings. But Kobe, crown tattoo, right? The crown. He died the year of coronavirus being declared a pandemic. Corona translates to crown. The NBA shut down the same day coronavirus was declared a global pandemic on the 11th of March, 11-3. Kobe Bryant equals 113. He was drafted round 1, pick 13, 113. He made his NBA debut on November the 3rd, 11-3. Right? Coronavirus pandemic equals 113. The National Basketball Association equals 113. Right? So he's got the crown. Why? And why is he wearing white here? To honor his 666 game. The 24 elders in Revelation are celestial figures sitting on thrones around God's throne, dressed in white with golden crowns. Dressed in white with golden crowns. All right? They're not showing you that. That stuff's not going viral, is it? I wonder why. Because it actually has substance. It has substance to it. Yeah, get the likes up. Thank you. Yeah, let's be honest, baby. Get the likes up. Everyone watching, do me that favor. I've told you, I have taken an 80% hit financially. I don't go around saying, guys, I'm a sports guru. Sign up, $6,000 a month. I'll make you rich. I could do that. You all know that, the ones that were with me since 2020. I could do that and take advantage of people. I charge $10. I get nothing from YouTube other than a couple of super chats. I appreciate you. People like Dave, Denise, Watchmen really helped me, all right, just to get through the month. But with my sports coding gifts, with what I revealed, I could set up a school. You know how many people, Illusion, set up a school. You could be a millionaire doing this. I don't want to be a millionaire doing this. I had one guy saying, I'll pay you $5,000 a month to give me sports picks. I told him no. All right. I still expose sports. I still find them deeply interesting to reveal. I don't watch them. I don't want to get caught up in the idol worship of them. All right. I don't want people to ruin their lives by gambling money they can't afford. I don't want to make false promises that I'm going to make you a millionaire if you pay me $6,000 a month. What average person even has $6,000? All right. Either degenerates or just people who have a lot of money. They come on after the game and some people post that they won and everyone gets excited. That's very true as well. Yeah, Illinois is in the Final Four. People are about to get ill. This is another pandemic's going to come. Did you see the UConn coach was wearing a 2020 hat? Why when it's 2026? Because that's when COVID was declared a pandemic. When Kobe died. Braylon Mullins was 0 from 4 from three-point range before the shot to put UConn up 73-72. The 19 came up again as UConn started shooting 1 for 19 from three-point range in the first half. Pascal, brilliant. Can we have a woo for Pascal? You see this? Yeah, and UConn won with 73 points. Queen equals 73. She was married 73 years. All right. The crown, Brady's Super Bowl record, 7-3. This guy who's claiming to be a genius and the GOAT of pro sports, all right, calls himself the GOAT, compares himself to Brady. What's he even done, this guy? And I have a feeling that this guy is definitely involved with higher-ups. You see the players, you see the coaches, the acting is so poor at this point. All right, they don't know exactly how it's all being done, but there's black magic involved. There's black magic involved, there's no doubt. So yeah, they're 1 for 19 three-point range, but the most pressured shot probably in the history of the franchise, he just picks it up, all right, and he just hits this wonder shot. And he's got his celebration, he's got the three fingers here, the three fingers here, all right, the crowd goes wild. And Duke just walked off like, yeah, we knew. I study body language. They were like, yeah. Now, and I'll show you, all right. Let me just show you this. This is Mullins' game winner. He's shooting it over number 3, Isaiah Evans. The book of Isaiah reveals Jesus Christ to be the Messiah, that a Messiah will come, right, in the book of Isaiah. Now, again, I've told you, I'm an athlete. I enjoy sports, especially as a child, teenager, and in my mid-20s. All I wanted to do was play sport. And I enjoyed basketball. Okay? But this is college basketball, which gets more views than the NBA. All right? So this ain't just college. Like in Europe, nobody watches your college, do they? Nobody really cares in Europe. In England, I played university. You got about 50 people watching you, right? But when it comes to this, there's so much money involved. There's so much energy involved. There's so much magic involved. So much corruption, right? But these are the best players in the country who are not in the NBA. Can I get a woo? That's basically what they are. They are the best basketball players in the country other than the NBA players. And the top stars will go on to play in the NBA. Like Tatum, isn't it? It's interesting how Tatum was at Duke. 3-3 birthday. All right, they've had some superstars, Duke. We know that. Cooper Flagg recently. List is endless with Duke. Players that went to the NBA. All right, but you've turned the ball over, which we'll talk about a little bit later. You've turned the ball over, which made 0 sense. All you had to do was get fouled, all right? You didn't have to play a pass and force a pass, all right? And if you did, it was a simple pass, because I saw the highlight, a super simple pass, but I wouldn't have even risked the pass. There was no need. Just take the foul. But then there's a turnover. The ball gets played to number 24, who my brother said, it was 0 from 4 before this shot. So it's not like he was confident. They call it the hot hand. Where it's like, oh man, it couldn't have landed to a better player. This is a guy who couldn't make a 3. Then he makes this 3-point shot with 0.3 seconds left on the clock over number 3, Evans. Well, again, I'm not a basketball player. I'm a footballer. But I'm pretty sure I'd put my hands up. Can somebody give me a woo? I would put my hands up to try and block this shot. I wouldn't keep my hands down and duck, right? You would jump up, all right, get in his face. And even if he did foul him, he then has to make the 3 throws, doesn't he? So much pressure on those 3 throws, all right? Get in his face, preferably don't foul, but if you do, there's still a good chance you're gonna win, or at least go to overtime. You don't duck and keep your hands by your side. And what is even crazier, right? Yep, the shot was over number 3. I'm able to notice these things. right? Braylon Mullins over Evans, right? Well, look at this guy's Instagram. Showtime Slim, Isaiah Evans, right? Of course, 66 posts, 211,000 followers, 47th prime. Right? Look at this. Get your hand up, all right? Get your hand up. Guys, you've got to understand what's going on at college. It's just as wicked as the NBA. Once they're on that court, right? Get your hand up. And he didn't get his hands up. 324 birthday like Damar Hamlin. All right, Damar Hamlin had that 3 riddle. He's number 3, isn't he? Damar Hamlin. Again, another video I've exposed, Damar Hamlin. And his cat, look, he's number 3. All of it connects. He's number 3. Number 3, it's all 3. 3 is a magic number. Obviously, the goal for these players is to get 3-point shots. There's the 0.3 on the clock. All right. Don't act like there's some like Freemason controlling the clock either. You got to do better than that. And then the reactions are just, this coach is very suspect. All right. And remember UConn, it's the home of skull and bones. Right? Secret society is magic, ritual sacrifice. All right. Brotherhood of death. March is the 3rd month. Can I get a woo? Why 3? Because of Jesus. Why do you think this was on Palm Sunday? Jesus rose from the dead on the 3rd day. All right. Died at 33. He began his ministry at 30. It lasted 3 years. Then he was crucified. All right. That's the 3. So what Satan does, Satan has great influence in pro sports. But imagine being a person who says Duke's a lock and then saying, oh, Satan flipped the script because of my code. How outrageous. And then telling me that you've got a lot to learn, son, when he doesn't have a clue who I am and what I've revealed. And that I could outcode him with my eyes closed. Right? Telling me I've got a lot to learn just because I didn't accept his compliment. Send me more work and I'll promote you. No, I'm not playing your little game. You're not having power over me. Right? But look, let's read this. UConn coach's brother used to play at Duke with Christian Laettner and later coached for Arizona State Sun Devils. So he played for the Blue Devils and coached the Sun Devils. That's the information I want people to share. Can we have a woo for Ziggy? Dan Hurley beats the Blue Devils on Palm Sunday. Exactly. Daniel as well. The book of Daniel is about the end of days. All right? It's about the end of days. That's why they won at the death. That's why there's so many death riddles. NFL games going to the death. Premier League games going to the death. NCAA basketball going to the death. I told you all this since Queen Elizabeth died. Death rituals are going to be everywhere. And they have been. Never seen so many games decided at the death. Okay? Never seen it. And I've been around sports since I was a young child. Yeah, March like soldiers. March, like I said, is the 3rd month. March is named after Mars, which is the god of war. World War III, right? Why is all these 3s? Why do I only have 44 likes? Can somebody super chat this stream? These people make hundreds of thousands of dollars for half-assed codes. It's unbelievable. But let's read this, right? These guys are actors and deceivers, all right? And they grow up in it, all right? They grow up in this deception, and they go to these Ivy League schools, all right, which is all about deception and power and corruption, all right, and deceiving. It's what they do. They're professional deceivers, all right, and basically many of them, whether they know it or not, their father is the devil, okay? They're not in the truth. The March Madness, you should see the idolatry inside the stadiums. Now, let's read this. Did Duke basketball suffer the worst loss in NCAA tournament history? Duke fans around the world are in utter shock. Again, this is a basketball game. You shouldn't be in shock anymore. If you follow my work, this is not a shock. This is actually normal. Right? I don't know why people say it's such a shock. It's normal. It happens every day. Right? Yeah, I believe Arsenal are going to win the Premier League. Duke fans around the world are in utter shock after blowing a 19-point first half lead against UConn. Study these words: blowing, Al-Qaeda, 9/11, right? Twin Towers, 19-point, 19 hijackers, COVID-19. All right, this is a big number, the 19 that's used. All right, again, 19-point first half lead as the favourites, and you lose. With the loss, this could arguably go down as the worst loss of all time in March Madness history. Flip those M's to the side, it's 33. All right? Up until this point, one-seeded teams were 134-0 when leading by at least 15 points at halftime of a March Madness game. That record has been shattered to 13, or I see it as 13-41, but 134-1 with UConn's incredible comeback. Now, why? Again, why? Why? I don't just see 134-1. I see 13-41. That's what I see. I see 13-41. And again, obviously, Kobe numbers are everywhere and it's every day. Gianna Maria Honorda Bryant died, quotation marks, age 13. On the same day as her snake father, Kobe Bryant, who died at 41. 13-41. 13-41. But it came in 134-0. So it was 134. When did Kobe Bryant retire? 13-4. He retired the 13th of April, 13-4. Now, the 13-4 is because of the Bible, which these jokers who claim to be Christians and flat earthers won't tell you because they don't say a thing about the Bible. Can we get another woo? You think it's good enough to just have a bio saying Christian and actually not proclaim the gospel? Which is what they do. All right? I'm a Christian flat earther and I code sports and make millions of dollars. Yeah, well, show me one video where you're preaching the gospel, mate. So you don't have one. All right, but you're getting people who are Christians, you're getting flat earthers on your side. All right, you're getting sports bettors on your side. It's very smart marketing. But why are you not preaching the gospel and just saying, hey, pay me $6,000, I'll show you how to get rich? Why do you need people $6,000 then? If it's so easy. Revelation 13:4. This is why Kobe had to retire on this day, a day before my birthday, simply because of this. And they worship the dragon, who is Satan, which gave power unto the beast. And they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? This is why it had to be the 134. Right? They won't tell you that. Okay? They won't tell you that. But it's clearly that. So making history, and who made history? It had to be no other than 24. All right? 24. Cheers for the woo. Dave, Ziggy, Anders. Bob Franklin, it wouldn't shock me. I don't know if it's all of them. Remember, guys, when it comes to this with the NCAA basketball, only a handful of them go to the NBA. Most of them will go work regular jobs, right? But you get a handful of them that go on and play in the NBA and deceive for 10, 15, 20 years. So if it's magic, right, let me tell you all of this. Everybody in the chat, smash the like button, please. Support the stream. Hear me out with this. If it's magic, if it's supernatural, if it's spiritual wickedness, which the Bible says it is, which again, I'll have to give you the verse for the people who are new and they've never read the Bible, because I will actually preach the gospel, unlike these people. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand, right? Say this is true. I believe it is, because it's the living, breathing word of God, right? Can I get an amen, Dave? So if it's magic, if it's principalities, if it's the rulers of the darkness of this world, if it's spiritual wickedness in high places that are controlling these outcomes through magic, technology, whatever it may be, the supernatural, then all the players don't need to know. Does it mean some of them know? I think so. Your superstars, your coaches, your owners, they'll be involved in the witchcraft, the summoning of demons. LeBron does it before his games, doesn't he? He summons demons. You see that, right? And what you hear a lot of people saying, why a lot of people actually dismiss this work, they will say it's impossible that they all know. Because they don't all know. And if it's magic, which I believe it is, which I just showed you pretty much here, with all these threes, remember 33.3% of the angels were cast out of heaven, right? Then they don't need to know. That's why sometimes you'll see genuine shock. How did that happen? Wow. And then you'll see some of the players who just look calm, or they've got this like cunning smile like they knew. And that's the magic of it. Hello, Rock Dog. Much love to you. And round about the throne were 24 seats. And upon the seats I saw 24 elders sitting, clothed in white raiment, and they had on their heads crowns of gold. Why do you think LeBron just got declared the king? Yeah, King James, most regular season appearances. All right, most points ever scored in the NBA. They're crowning LeBron, who calls himself a king, right? So again, when you see this going on, I'm here to tell you all, it's not man controlling it, but certain men are aware of the witchcraft because they're involved in Satanism and the occult, and they do black magic, all right? Celebrities have told you, they're witches. They've said this, okay? Some of these players like Steph, he gets called a magician. They call it Luca magic. Look at what he's able to do. I shared a post on Instagram. He was sat down in the stand. They gave him a basketball, sat down, all right, and he made 2 shots in a row, sat down. And he just smiled. Like, yeah, I know I'm not going to miss. You see their shots, and they call him Luca magic. Right? And how many people are doing what Luca's doing? What is he averaging? 30, 35 points? 2 months ago, I said, guys, just take Luca's prop. Just take his prop. I think he's hit it every game since I said it. Just take Luca's prop. All right? He makes ridiculous shots. Maybe it is magnets, right? Whatever we want to say. Technology is being used, and I think it was brought to us by fallen angels, just like weapons were. Right? So if it is technology, you've got to be like, okay, who's behind it? Who's behind it? It's the fallen angels. Yeah. Steph will take these ridiculous shots. I've seen him take shots where he's not looking at the hoop. I've seen him where he's down the tunnel and he makes a shot. And he just has that smile like he knew he wasn't going to miss. So you can have that confidence, that arrogance, which people will just say, well, that's just because he's so good. That's because he practices. Steph Curry's dad was in the NBA. His brother's in the NBA. There's clearly certain families that are involved in the occult and they get opportunities. So let's keep reading this. Keep smashing the like. Thank you if you're enjoying it. Duke completely collapsed in the second half, being outscored 44-28, which was capped off by an incredible inbound sequence that led to Braylon Mullins becoming a household name and March Madness hero. Right? So this is what I actually wanted to state to you all. What they need to be doing here is exposing the errors, right? Give me a moment. I'm going to turn off my air conditioner. All right. It should ultimately be saying these errors were unprecedented. The coach should honestly get fired for blowing that lead. These are the best coaches, right? These are the best coaches in college. Now, if you have a 19-point first half lead as Duke, you cannot lose that lead. Perhaps UConn go on a run. Basketball is a game of runs, all right? But you can't lose that game. But what they have to do, all right, they'll say it's an incredible inbound sequence. Braylon Mullins becomes a household name and March Madness here, and they have to shout, don't they? Can I get a woo? They have to shout because it's energy. It's energy. They shout, oh my word, Braylon Mullins, this is incredible. This is March Madness. This is magic. And then everyone's like, whoa, what just happened? Because they're under a spell, a magic spell. And I'm just like, I know exactly what just happened. And I'll expose it in 15 seconds if I want to. All right? So what led to UConn coming away with the win was a Duke inbounds pass. No, you can't blame it on one play. Again, can I get another woo? You can't blame losing a 19-point lead on one play. And that's what they do. That ended up in the hands of Caden Boozer, right? Boozer, a name for alcoholic. Alcoholics drink spirits. Spirits, demons, right? Caden Boozer. We'll talk about Boozer later and his brother, all right? And his father, who played for the Bulls. We'll talk about that family that's clearly in the occult. Do you know how hard it is to play for Duke, let alone to have brothers play? Do you know how hard it is to get in the NBA statistically? How many brothers do you have? Put it in the chat. The Giannis brothers, the Curry brothers, all right? The list is endless. Put it in the chat, all the brothers there are. Do you know how hard it is to get in the NBA statistically? Statistically. And the fathers and the sons like Bronny and LeBron and all of that. It's just outrageous. All right? But look, Duke inbounds pass that ended up in the hands of Caden Boozer, the Halliday brothers, which he tried to throw down court for a breakaway score, which you didn't need to do. You would do that if you needed the points, all right? You'd have to make the pass or attempt. He didn't have to do it. He just needed to get fouled. He just needed to basically get touched, which would have put them up by 4 if they made it. It's so ridiculous now. Maybe he would have fallen over. Instead, the pass was deflected and ended up in the hands of Mullins, who pulled up from the logo. There's something about these logos that's black magic as well. They always have to tell you that it's from the logo. All right? Oh, no, that's just marketing, Adam. No, well, do you need marketing on the court? We all know it's March Madness. Can I get a woo? Why do you need March Madness there on the court? Everybody knows it's March Madness they're watching. What do you need to put it on the court for? They're doing it in wrestling now, all the wrestling ring. There's all these logos inside of it. There's something to them. UFC obviously has the monster, which is 666. Something to it. How many times in UFC does a guy get knocked out inside the monster logo, which is 666 in Hebrew? Evan, God bless you. Much love to you. We got my brother Fairspear. I really appreciate you. Shout out to Sirius again today. Cyprus code was really good. Indianapolis equals 201. We know how big that number is. But again, it's because of Revelation 21. It's not just because Jesuit orders 201 or because Pope Francis resided in Suite 201. That's all information that's very important. All right. But it's why 21? Why is Trump's first day in office 21? Because of Revelation 21. That's why. Why did Brady throw for 201 yards in his last Super Bowl? because of Revelation 21. Okay? So it's clear that there's black magic. Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan retired with the Wizards. All right? The Wizards. So this pass gets deflected. It ends up in the hands of Mullins, who was 0 from 4 from 3. Probably the last player you wanted to have the ball in this situation. And he sinks it. I can't play it because you know what's going to happen. But here, there's 9.6 seconds here. All right. They're up by 2. They've got the ball. Less than 10 seconds left. All right. All they had to do was keep possession of it. Again, possession, demonic possession. All right. This guy throws into him. He does well. That's Boozer. Gives it back to him. Boozer's brother gets in the hole, which is what you would want. He gets in the hole. All right. Then all he has to do is surrounded by these 2 players. He needs to get fouled. And what he's done is he's got the ball about here. All right. In that little gap. And then he's got these 2 Duke players who are open. And he makes a throw, which is a basic throw. And he basically throws it at a UConn player. I think the ball ends up here, gives it to Mullins about here, who swooshes. UConn now found themselves in the Final Four for the 3rd time. They have to tell you that in 4 seasons. Looking to capture their 7th national title. This is big. With all the 7s, the 7 years of tribulation, the 7 seals, the 7 trumpets. All right. Brady and his 7 Super Bowls. UConn will play Illinois in the Final Four on Saturday. And look how the Final Four is on 4/4, which is the anniversary of Martin Luther King's so-called assassination. The Final Four is on 4/4. And how many streams do you want me to do about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse? How many? How many more do you want? About the 4 horsemen. And did you... Oh my word, Boozer Brothers combined for 42 points. There you go. The beast reigns for 42 months. That's brilliant. Boozer, I've told you, a boozer is an alcoholic who drinks spirits more often than not. All right, so Final Four on 4/4. I wonder if any of them are going to win by 4. All right, you know they're going to go to the death, at least one of them. You know that already without even coding it. One of them will go to the last play. Duke scored 44 in the first half. UConn scored 44 in the second half. Wow. More 4s. Now, who watched my stream yesterday? When I talked about the 4th horseman riding a green horse. Anybody? My brother Rain Payne thinks Michigan's going to win. And obviously Brady went to Michigan. It's going to be very difficult to call who wins this. But whoever, if you have a code for a team, don't go around telling people it's a lock. Anyone calling a code a lock needs to quit coding or take that word out of the vocabulary. And usually the ones that call something a lock are the people who can't code. They've got like a 20% hit rate and they'll call something a lock. And how you expect to take that seriously. But yeah, again, I can't believe this guy says, get your hand up. And he literally didn't get his hand up. But I did a stream yesterday about green. We covered all the green. I enjoyed it. Well, this guy who made the winning shot at the death, guys, he went to Greenfield Central High School. That needs a few woos in the chat. Greenfield. If you watched my stream yesterday, that should blow you away. Right? Greenfield. And he wins at the death. I just talked about Valverde. Verdi translates to green. He scored at the death against England. I gave you all the numbers about that. Because again, remember these American decoders, they can't code soccer. The biggest sport, the most popular sport in the world. And that guy was like, Satan flipped the script. How many people care about NCAA basketball outside of USA? I never heard of the NCAA in England. I barely watched any NBA in England, if any. Maybe highlights. So Satan's flipped a script because of his half-assed code about Kobe Bryant in a competition that only really Americans care about. It's just embarrassing, is what it is. Yeah, I really enjoyed the green stream. I found more stuff like Jim Carrey, the mask, the green. He was the Grinch green. He was the Riddler green. And then I was looking into Poison Ivy and she's green and red. I was just doing loads. Like I found loads more green. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, Greenfield. And look, his name's Braylon. Give me a woo if you've ever heard of this guy. Again, I coded this wrestling death. Have you heard of Bray Wyatt? Now, he died on the Duke coach's birthday, right? And Vince McMahon's birthday. John Shea, right? His birthday is August the 24th, 1987, right? Bray Wyatt, right? He died August the 24th, 2003 at age 36. 8/24, that's Kobe Bryant Day. That's why that guy was like, well, Duke are a lock. No. They had a great code, I thought. Clean code, but it wasn't like a lock. And look how they lost in the Elite Eight. Kobe with the 8. Right? I'm not knocking the code at all. I'm knocking the fact that he said that Satan flipped the script because of his Instagram reel. Look how this guy was at Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel and then the Blue Devils. All right, we know all about the synagogue of Satan. But the reason I'm talking about Bray Wyatt, right, is because the guy who got this winning shot, Braylon Mullins, right? Braylon Mullins. And he was born the same year as Gianna Bryant, which is 2006. The Huskies are the wolves. We warned about wolves in sheep's clothing in the Bible. But all this about, look, one better wins $615,000. Did he? These people are hired. All right. These people are hired. Did he really win $615,000? Did he? And again, if you bet on Duke and you didn't cash out when they were 19 points up and had a 98% chance of winning, how can you be giving out betting advice? A few more woos in the chat. All right. Shea turned 36 in 2023. 666 is the 36 triangular number. The reason I'm getting at the 36 with Bray Wyatt dying at age 36 on Duke coach's birthday, death, and obviously they got beat at the death by a guy who's got Bray in his name. How do we still have 50 likes, Lord? Lord, please get this work out to more people. All right? Please. Man. Wow. Surely. But anyways, the reason I'm talking about the 36, yes, we know the 36, or we should at this point, is the 36 triangular number. Right? The beast of Revelation reigns for 3 years and 6 months. But watch this. Yukon 36 years later. See if it comes up. Right, here you go. I don't know whose this is. Oh, it's ESPN. So there's your... Look, again, I'll have to do a post on my website about this. 36 years later, Yukon got revenge on Duke for Christian, Christ in his name, all right? Leitner's game-winning shot against them in 1990. 1990 is when George Bush Sr. gave his New World Order speech, all right? 1990, Duke beats Yukon on a game winner in the Elite Eight. 2026, Yukon beats Duke on a game winner in the Elite Eight. All right? 36. And the guy who gets this winning shot is Braylon. Bray. Right? Bray. And then Bray Wyatt, who was the Fiend, which is a demon, right? This Fiend character, right? Dies at age 36. Again, this should be viral, but it won't be shared. Nobody leaves comments on my videos, but 2 people. All right? And he dies on 8/24, which is Duke coach's John Shea's birthday, and it's Kobe Bryant Day. in honor of his jersey numbers. And this, I don't have the words. Well, come on, what are you saying, John? Final possession. It's demonic that they're under possession. The final possession. The words are so important. They tell you it's magic, it's possession. All right, death. Yeah. UConn and Duke deliver one of the greatest NCAA men's basketball tournament games in recent memory. No, it's clearly a disgrace, is what it was. The kind of matchup that embodied every ounce of madness. So they use that word madness, not magic. They should just call it March Magic, and people would still deny that it's magic. Has the wonderful tendency to provide. After trailing by as many as 17 points in the second half, oh my word, I didn't know that because I don't watch it. I knew it was 19 in the first. The Huskies rallied for a 73-72 victory over the number 1 overall seed Blue Devils. Well, why don't we add up those numbers? I'm pretty sure it's 145. All right. Israel declared its independence on 14/5. Israel declared its independence in 14/5. You got the Synagogue of Satan, right? 145 points. I've just made that fine now. Right? 145, literally for Israel. Oh my word, and what did I show you about John Shea? Wait, let me go back. Didn't he play in Israel? Look, he played in Israel. Look, oh my word. And he went there. He literally went there the year that Bin Laden died. 2011, he joins Maccabi Tel Aviv. Maccabi Tel Aviv is in Israel. Oh my word, his spouse is called Mark of the Beast. This is insane. And he's from Illinois, and now who's playing Illinois? He's from Illinois. All right? It's non-stop. He's an Israeli. There you go. 145 points. Israel declares its independence, 14/5. The devil coming for Israel. The finger points that they do. These coaches are not in control of the outcomes. They never have been. It's why Sir Alex Ferguson won 13 Premier Leagues, sat on his ass chewing gum. Can we get a few woos? He never took a coaching session, and when he was coaching, he sat on his ass chewing gum, and occasionally his face went red and he shouted. But he won 13 Premier League titles. Oh, that's because he was able to light a fire in his players. They feared him. No, it's because Fergie was obviously involved with the dark magics. That's why he did so well with the Red Devils. He won't coach in them. Yeah, but he knew how to control the changing room. All coaches should be able to control a changing room. All right? There shouldn't be a coach if they can't control a changing room. It's not like a big deal, is it? Yeah, but he knew how to control a changing room, Fergie. Oh, wow. That must have been why he won 13 Premier League titles. But what I want to talk about now, all right? 145 is the 10th pentagonal. Wow, for Satan. Good stuff, Adam Lastman. Love you, brother. Thanks for always supporting me. Between the velvet lies, there's a truth that's hard as steel. Yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful quote. Let's talk about Cameron Boozer. Now, this guy went to Christopher Columbus High School. They're blaming the loss on him, right? They're blaming it on him. Cameron Boozer. Birth is that 18/7. Born in Salt Lake City, Utah. Right? His parent is Carlos, who played for the Bulls. I think he played for Cleveland as well, and the Lakers, right? They all have the C, that third letter of the alphabet. All right? So this guy was at Utah, Cleveland, Lakers, Bulls, played for Duke, number 4. All right? And he's the father of these boozers. Now, interestingly, right, you got Cameron, who just had a nightmare, but his brother is the star. Caden. Oh, not Caden. They're twins, aren't they? No, I think is Cameron the star? One of them's the star. And the twins connects to the Twin Towers, which brings it all back to 9/11. Which one's the star? Is it Cameron? I think it's Cameron. Yeah, it must be Cameron because he got 27 points. All right, this guy's the star, Cameron. And it's his brother. It's his brother who gave the possession away, Caden, right? Now, these twins, remember Thomas means twin, and Thomas said, "My Lord, my God," to Jesus. Caden Boozer praised. Why is he being praised? Look, there it is. Duke freshman Caden Boozer takes blame after costly turnover leads to shocking March Madness loss. Why is he being praised? Caden Boozer praised for what he did after Duke's Elite 8 loss to UConn. Why is he being praised? The Duke Blue Devil season ended in about as heartbreaking fashion as one could have imagined. As time expired, UConn's Braylon Williams nailed. Remember, oh my word, guys, Jesus was nailed to the cross. You got to see how they use same birthday as Bam. That is so true. That is so true. Same birthday as Bam, Golden Age Deception, that 18-7. 35-foot three-pointer to hand the Huskies a 73-72 win in the Elite Eight and send the Blue Devils home just shy of reaching back-to-back Final Fours. Mullins' game winner was possible thanks to Caden Boozer turnover with 6 seconds left in the game as Silas DeMary Jr. came up with the steal. After the game, Boozer admitted he felt that he let his team down in the waning seconds, and while he may or may not be justified in those feelings, many applauded Boozer. Look, these angels of light, he's getting applauded for giving away the ball, which led to a loss, for standing in front of reporters, answering questions about his gaff, and taking it on the chin. It was his ritual. Bronny James' career night sparked wild reaction from Dad, the father-son. I've seen so many pro athletes and coaches in similar situations decline to take questions from the media, and frankly, I don't blame them. But he's being revealed as an angel of light. Whatever they do, this satanic Masonic media will find a way, if they want, to praise them. Lock it in. I think there's going to be another lockdown. I think another pandemic's coming. Lock it in. Lockdown. And why did they give the ball to this 18-year-old, a freshman? Why at the most important time of the game do you give the freshman the ball? I'll stay for a little bit longer. You don't give it to a freshman, do you? You give it to his brother, who should have kept it and got fouled because he's so good at the free-throw line. Not easy for a freshman to stand and face the media after a loss like that, but he did it with class and literally blood on his shirt. Impressive kid. He will have this moment of redemption. Jesus, the Redeemer, Christ the Redeemer. He went to Christopher Columbus. Christ. I can't believe they're glorifying him. He went to the camera because he's owned. He's a slave to Satan. He's a slave to Satan. So these people, Cameron Boozer, his brother, his dad, and I think, look at his parents called CC. The C. CC. C's the third letter. That's his mother. Look, they always reveal themselves as these perfect little families. And it's pure deception. All right? It's pure and utter deception. The Ball brothers. How did we forget the Ball brothers? How do people take them seriously? The shots that the one for the Hornets makes. All right, he just throws it from wherever he wants. It goes in. That's just what I do. I was trained for this. My dad trained me for this moment. No, Satan did. And your dad sold you off to Satan. But he can't make you all superstars because it's too obvious. It'll get you all in the league. It wasn't LeBron that got Bronny in the league. It was Satan that put Bronny in the league. It wasn't LeBron. Well, LeBron's got sway. He can do what he wants. Well, why don't he get his other son in the league as well right now then, if he can do what he wants? Have them all play together and have them win the NBA together, because he doesn't have all that power. But Boozer, a person who drinks large quantities of alcohol, literally, these names are made up. They're made up. How many people go to March Madness and get drunk? Do you reckon it's more than half of the crowd? They go to March Madness and they're drunk. They're boozed up, like the average college student is pretty much every day. The daughter's named Bloom. The Duke twins are being one of the stories. They'll tell you it's storyline right in your face. They tell you one of the greatest stories. Stories. The Boozer family is full of athletes. Cameron Caden's dad, Carlos, former NBA player. He's not the only athlete in the family. So they do this. They make it out like it's genes. They'll tell you it's like old genes. And they made it because the parents are both athletes. It's not how it works. You just go with where your heart is. The Bible says the heart is wicked. The heart is easily deceived. These celebrities always tell you to follow your heart. And I tell people that all the time when they ask, like, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And I said, because it's the only thing I know. I put my head down and I do the work. And I see the goal. And I meet the goal. I do what thou wilt. Self-glorification. Self-worship. I put my head down. I do the work. I see the goal. I meet the goal. I. And that's why so many people are going to go to hell, because they only truly care about themselves. They don't want to surrender to Christ. They want to be their hero. It's about them. And once I meet the goal, I make another goal. For me, it's nice to see them at this moment, seeing the culmination of everything that's happened, and to be able to look back and say, I'm thankful and I'm grateful for you, kind of putting your head down and making the way. So I think that as a parent, that's all we can ask for. They're deceivers, right? It's so clear. They're amazing young men, all right? Play for the US national team. Guys, think about how many parents invest so much money in their kids thinking they're going to be pros when they're not. Because if you're from a family like this, you already have your foot in. And then if magic's involved, there's your ability. Can I get a woo? Have them train, right? Think about this. If they're making deals with the devil, which you can do, all you do, you get your kids to train. And then you take a few videos of them making shots and you make like a whole montage. This is Cameron when he was 4 years old, dribbling a basketball. Here he is in high school. If it's magic, but all you need is that story. You need a backstory. And that's how it all plays out. So it just looks like, you know what, they trained hard, they worked hard, they're from an athletic family, all right? They took advantage of the opportunities. And that's what you'll say. You won't. Look, I pray that God guides your steps and you put him first in all you do. Nonsense. Nonsense. What God? What God are you talking about? God is not thinking, you know what, who should I select for the NBA draft? It's unbelievable that people think this. Again, lukewarm Christians everywhere you go. Look, the refs literally handed them. No, they didn't. Do you know why Duke lost? Because it was the code. No scripts are flipped. And if you think that, you are gullible or you are full of pride. And by the way, look, 36 years of waiting and UConn choose the Elite Eight to cash in that receipt. 36 years of waiting, the Elite Eight. 36 years of waiting, the Elite Eight. That's very interesting to me. Do you want to know why? 36 years of waiting to get revenge in the last 8. 36, the 8th triangular number. 24th composite. Oh, there. Go viral. Make a video. All right. 36, 8th triangular number, 24th composite. Who got the winning shot? 24. All right. 24. When did he do it? 36 years after Duke beat UConn in the Elite Eight. Look, I've just exposed it again. How many more do you want from me? 36, the 8th triangular number, the 24th composite. Number 24 gets the game winner at the death to get revenge 36 years later and to do it in the Elite Eight. Okay. Yeah. God bless you, Miss Jones. Much love to you. That right there, maybe that's what people need. It's pretty clear, isn't it? I think you reach an illusion. I think you're probably reaching a little bit, aren't you? Pretty interesting, but I think you're reaching. Reaching what? Duke is officially a poverty franchise. Imagine losing a 19-point lead to a team that couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat in the first half. 1990 was the only time they were relevant against us. 36 years of waiting just to choke when it actually mattered. Mullins owns Boozer. Mullins made one good shot. Well, Boozer got, 27 points? Mullins didn't own Boozer because he made this rigged shot with Black Magic. That's not owning somebody for one shot. Oh, and this seems fake. This seems fake. You see it all the time. It's fake. But what I do want to look at is this guy. What was his name? Christian Leitner. Told you, Christian, Christ. He played with Michael Jordan. He played with Michael Jordan, the Satanist. Mr. 666 himself, Michael Jordan. His middle name's Donald. Oh my word, bro. His middle name's Donald Trump, Devil, Christ. I say Donald Trump's the Antichrist. Christian Donald Leitner. And he was at the Heat, the Lake of Fire. Wait, he wore number 44. Dave, he wore number 44. He was in the Dream Team. Remember Man United, the Red Devils, the Theatre of Dreams? It's all a dream. It's all a dream. It's all a dream. It's not real. It's from a Roman Catholic family. Of course he is. So he's being deceived by the devil. Played for the Wizards, Magic. He played for the Wolves. Like, oh my word, UConn. UConn are the Wolves. Wolves in sheep's clothing. It just, nah. Christian's older brother, Christopher. They both have Christ. Jesus, please come today if you can. Christian Christopher. You had the Boozer guy who went to Christopher Columbus School, who turned the ball over. Christian Columbus. It all comes back to Christ. They're not teaching you this, are they? Just, it all comes back to Jesus. All of it comes back to Jesus. He wore 32, the 8 plus 24 with Kobe. There is the Wolves, the UConn Huskies, the whole Wolves. Here he is with Magic Johnson. How did he even get in this dream team? Because it would have been coded for like it all builds up for moments like this. Wait, he wore number 3. Did he? No, he can't have done. Did he wear number 3 for Duke? No, 32. That's somebody else. Yeah, so he's wearing 44 for the Heat and the Wizards. Magic, all those 44s. What did you say, Dave? Duke had 44 points. Did they have 40? Look, they're 33 there. The players are slaves to Satan. They're just slaves. All right, and you see it on some of the faces. They're starting to realize it's not real. They're like, it's just not real. Just watch their body language. It's all just making sense now. And what, 32 plus 44, that's 76. 7 times 6, 42. That's when the Georgia Guidestones came down, George Bush's birthday. Duke, 44 in the first half. UConn had 44 points in the second half. Oh, of course they did. Of course they did. I'm going to do a stream tomorrow about Michael Jordan. I'm not going to tell you it yet. I'll post it later on my website. Trump, the 44th person to be president. Yep, and he replaced 44th president Obama. Cheers, Veronica. 57 likes. Just criminal, really. But I do this for a handful of people like you guys. Basically what I do YouTube for now. The same 50 to 100 people. And I'm going to keep doing it for you. Can I get an amen? That's who I'm doing it for. The same 50, 100 people that are constantly here. Otherwise, there's no point doing it if you guys are not here. So yeah, unbelievable stuff. It's magic. Do you believe in magic? It's clearly magic. So it's so stunning. Buzzer beaters, winning at the death. All right. There's that 44. And yeah, so Duke, blow, lead versus Houston. This is back-to-back. Duke choke is worse than Houston game. Back-to-back, guys. Imagine being a Duke fan. They've had all that success. The Blue Devils were on their way to the 2026 Final Four as the favourite. Well, not now. Remember this collapse. Duke led by double digits for most of the second half by 9 points with 2 minutes left. How can you be winning by 9 points with 2 minutes left as the favourite and lose? By 6, they were leading by 6 with 35 seconds left. Stop removing likes, YouTube. Oh my word. You're up by 6 points with 35 seconds left and you lose as the favourite of a tournament. It was nearly impossible to lose that game. Just like they had a 98% probability of winning yesterday and lost. But Duke found a way despite being the favourite to win it all. Surely Duke was not going to lose in an even worse fashion. How could it possibly do that? I'm showing you how. Spiritual wickedness, black magic. I'm showing you. You have all these questions. How? How is that possible? Magic. Clearly not possible through man, through Vegas. Now, let me play this audio of this guy. All right, this deceiver. That he just missed out on $400,000. This is back in 2024. Listen to what he says and how calm he is. And who retweeted it? DraftKings, 400,000 followers. Listen to this. 1 second. Give me a sec.
Sucks to lose at the very end like that. I was so close. 1 game away from the win of a lifetime. And all season, I felt like I had it. But that's life. That's how life is. Things don't always go your way. So to everybody who rooted for me, thanks. It truly means a lot. And congrats to Michigan on the championship.
We've bet 74-69 exact score in every game of March Madness. We are down to the Elite Eight, and boy, oh boy, do we have a good chance at Duke. You know, man? Yeah.
Tell me how you can potentially lose out on $400,000 and then stay so calm, and then even congrats to Michigan. Can you explain to me how anybody in their right mind could do that? Well, that got retweeted by DraftKings that has 400,000 followers. Right? You don't do that, guys. You don't say, good job, Michigan, when you've almost missed out on $500,000. And you're so calm. Nah. They're deceivers. They're everywhere now. Duke blowing leads. This is the crazy thing about Duke under John Shea. When it loses by blowing a big lead. Duke blew a 17-point lead and lost to Texas Tech. It blew a 13-point lead in a loss to North Carolina. Duke losing only by blowing leads is positively mind-blowing and lead-blowing. Unreal fact, Duke and North Carolina both blew 19-point leads in this NCAA tournament and lost. That's 1 in a trillion odds right there. Dan Hurley is now 17-1 in the NCAA tournament after this win. 18th triangular number, 6 + 6 + 6. UConn is the ultimate closer in college basketball. When the Huskies get into the second weekend, they make the Final Four. It's what they do. The last Elite Eight game UConn failed to win, 2006, against George Mason. George Washington was a 33-degree Freemason, the first president. The Huskies haven't lost since in that round or in the Sweet 16. 12-0 UConn run. Did you see yesterday this? What's it called? Raptors 31-0 run. This is the NBA. 31 facts from Raptors. 31-0 run versus who? The Magic. Last time, guys, please hit the like. I'm going to go in 5 minutes. How can you go on a 31-0 run in the NBA? The best players in the world. I'm not even sure you could go 31-0 against the worst team in the league. Magic are average. 31-0, but they have to give you 31 facts, the 11th prime, right? They beat the Magic by 52 points, right? Do you know why? Do you want me to show you why? Why it was 31-0? And why they won by 52? That 31-0 can be seen as 310. All right, and they won by what? 52? By 52. 310. Bin Laden. Born 310. 310. Died 5-2. That's why. That's why. Bin Laden, all the 9/11 riddles, all right? 310 is when he was born. Died 5-2. 310 run, Bin Laden's birthday, died on 5-2. Right there is a Bin Laden ritual. Like, he obviously didn't die, did he? It's magic that people believe that. It's ridiculous. People who believe 9/11 went down the way they tell us, they're under a spell. People who think this is all organic are under a spell. People who vote and think that you cast a vote, people are under a spell. People who deny the Bible are under a spell. It's the Magic's worst loss ever. How do you lose by 52 points? Raptors nearly put the nail in the coffin. This was, look at this. By the time the Raptors were done with the run, they had a 96.9% chance of winning. That's lower than Duke's chance of winning, who lost. Right? Duke had a 98% chance of winning yesterday and lost. Raptors win tiebreaker over Magic. So just again, let me just look at the league with Raptors. So Raptors, oh my word, it was the 42nd win. So look, they have 42 wins, the Magic 39. How the heck, when there's only 3 games difference, can a team win by 52? If it was real. If it was real, how can, like, it's not like the Raptors just mugged off the Pacers. They've just beat the Magic by 52 points. It's not real. Is it? It's clearly not real. Yet people think it is. They're fools, ultimately. And they'll see my work. What's he even talking about? Oh, listen. Listen. What's this? What's he covering his face for with a 3? Remember, these college players, guys, look at the following. They're not just some normal guys. Look, what's this? Black? Why did they do the whole Black Lives Matter? It should be Black Magic Matters. Can I get a woo? It should be Black Magic Matters. And look, it's showtime. It's a show. It's showtime. They tell you it's a show. But people get caught up in the emotions. Oh, look at that. What a moment between the coach and Mullins. Mullins was having a really tough game, but he kept going. Okay, he deserved it for his perseverance, and they'll sell you the same bullshit every year. Every single year, the same storylines with different teams, sometimes the same team. Oh, and Duke blow a big lead again. How's that possible? Oh, yeah, exactly. How is it possible? How is it possible? Connect the dots. Connecticut, connect. Connect it all, guys. You'll keep being deceived. 24 made history for UConn to end the streak, and Kobe wore 24, guys. Look at that. 13-41. 41 the 13th prime. And all these videos. Oh my word, I can't believe it. It's incredible. So again, Watchman, much love to you. Don't be fooled by these frauds online. All right? Who telling you, I have the script. I've mastered it. Come follow me. Pay me $6,000. All right? Because these people are just, they're deceiving, guys. This sports betting education. Come on. Like I've told you all, there's no issue. Oh, this guy here. Let's play this.
10 seconds to go. Here we go.
What's that reaction all about? So he's watching it. He's got sunglasses on in his own house. He's not even watching the TV. He's looking at his phone. Right? This fan, this Huskies fan, they turn the ball over Duke, where he should be like, what? Really? He doesn't say anything. The ball goes in. He goes, whoa, what? No way. Wow. Oh. And it's like, the world is so fake. Online is fake. Hardly anything's real. The real people like me get just suppressed. All right. Everything's to put on a performance. Do you know what I mean? Watch the game. If you're a huge fan, you'd be watching the TV, not staring at your phone on Instagram with the TV behind you. If you was an actual fan, or if you had a shitload of money on it, you won't be staring at your phone on Instagram. So wake up, man. This has 10 freaking likes. Look at it. It couldn't be any more clear that it was magic. I really can't wait to expose this World Cup. I want Jesus to come now. I'm sick of the deception, the evil, the wickedness, the inverts, the attempting to mock God, the false prophets, the ridiculous economy, the suppression. And I'm not saying this because I'm fed up. I'm just over it. What's he got crosses here for? He has a cardiac arrest and he comes back even better. He never had one. So if he didn't have one, he's clearly a deceiver. Look at these photos. Look. Like, who are these people? GG. Orange County. What color are these basketballs in NCAA? Bright orange. Trump. He's got to be coming soon, Jesus. Just stay sober, stay vigilant, and don't be fooled. The world right now is coded. I showed you it. It's coded. Satan is the God of this world. He uses numbers. He uses rituals. He sacrifice because Jesus made the biggest sacrifice. He wants you to sacrifice to him. He wants to be God. He wants to be worshipped. He wants your energy. And he wants to do anything he possibly can to lead you away from salvation. Whether it's, you watch WrestleMania 42 that's coming up. John Cena's going to host it. John Cena, John wrote Revelation. 17-time champion. Babylon falls in Revelation 17. He wants to do anything he can. Get you caught up in March Madness. Then what next? All right, baseball's back. And then what? Well, you got a World Cup. All right, and then what's next? NBA Finals. That's what he does. He keeps you in a loop. And then somebody dies. And then the economy collapses. And now there's a pandemic. And now there's a war. And now Trump says this. All right, it's just endless. An endless loop. Because he don't want you to accept the free gift of salvation before you take your last breath. I've done that. That's why I can do this work. There's no urgency in the sense of, for me, I need to be saved. I'm saved. If I die today, I'm good forever. Right? But he's doing everything he can to lead you away. And then he's got his little puppets, all right, all over social media doing his will. Blowing up half-assed codes that I can do in 5 minutes are going viral. And then now he's blaming Satan because they flipped the script, which just makes people like us look crazy. It's like you're not going to trust a Christian. It's just unbelievable what they're doing. International recognition with Israel, all right? Harry Truman recognized the nation of Israel. Truman Show? Anybody? The Truman Show? Which is what we're living in. Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Amen. The devil, the blue devils. Right? I'm going to leave it there. But wait, guys, if you're still having question marks over sports being black magic and corrupt and wicked, that's because you don't want to accept it. It's not because of the information provided, it's because you refuse. Because you suppress the truth in unrighteousness. It's not that, you're not really giving me enough information. You got the best information on YouTube about all of this every day. If you still want to play along with it and think it's real and watch it and enjoy it and pay to go watch these games and pay for ESPN, don't act like you haven't been warned. This guy did not win 615,000. He didn't. He placed 300,000 wager on the Huskies money line. Who has 300 grand? If you've got 300 grand, then you're mega rich. If you're placing it on a bet. But then they also do this. They go, oh, well, Duke lost because there was so much money on their futures. There's very few money on UConn because they were 13-1. So they justify it that way. Why not just have Duke go down the whole game? Why let them go up 19 points when you can cash out? Can I get a Woo Golden Age? Yeah, 134, the 101st composite, the 26 prime. Brilliant. The year 26. Kobe died the 26th day. In his last game, I think the Lakers scored 101 points. 26 prime. Messi won the World Cup 101 days after the Queen died in his 26th World Cup game. 101, 26 prime. I better put down 77,000 on UConn to win the NCAA tournament, which would win $1 million. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's like, oh man, you could get rich from it. Who's got 300 grand to wage? Where is this guy? Where is he? Is there an image of him? So yeah, they flipped the script because it was on Duke. As I was saying, if you bet on Duke in that game, they gave you a 98% cash out. You could have covered UConn points. Anybody who knows about betting with college, UConn are famous for comebacks. At halftime, take their spread. Anyone who has any sense for betting. But this guy, he bets on Duke. All right, he's got hundreds of thousands of dollars at risk, and he doesn't cash out on that game or cover UConn, who were 18-1. UConn were 18-1 in the game. Why not put a couple of grand on them? You clearly have a ton of money. What's a few grand? No, I'm not going to do that because it's a lock. Oh no, but Satan flipped the script. Satan flipped the script. But my half-assed code about Kobe Bryant. But was the game connected to Kobe? 1,000,000%. That's why number 24 had to get the winner. Right? It did connect to him, but what does Kobe connect to? Satan. Satan's ain't flipping no scripts. This stuff's been going on since the beginning. Right, I'm going to leave. Duke, 97% probability of winning at halftime. 97%, guys. 97%. But I know what people are going to do. They're going to be like, okay, so who's winning then? That's what they're going to... I'm going to get that on Instagram when I end the stream. Good stream, Illusion. Does that mean that UConn's going to win it all? That's not why I did my stream. I could figure it out, but that's not why I did my stream. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for your insights. All right. It is theatre, it's bread and circus, but it's also witchcraft, which needs to get hit home. It's witchcraft. It's spiritual wickedness in high places. It's principalities. All right. It's not flesh and blood. Flesh and blood is being used within it, obviously being controlled like puppets. They think they're in control, and that's part of the magic. They think that they are in control. They're not. All right? They're clearly not. No, thank you, Golden Age. Thanks for sharing my work. Guys, go support Golden Age on Instagram and The Watchman. If anybody else has an Instagram or Twitter, put it in the comments. And yeah, Again, I'm just never going to get traction. 61 likes. Just I've got to deal with it every day. But thanks for the people that do support me, all right? So I know who you are, and you keep me going with this work. Who wants me to quit? The devil. The devil wants me to stop. He's tried everything in his arsenal to get me to stop. But I'm not going to. God bless you, Carl. Thanks for supporting the work. I have to leave right now. Now, thank you, Watchman, as well. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Tomorrow, I think Brady's going down, eh? I think Brady and Michael Jordan are going to go down in the stream because I've got something that I don't know if anybody else has found. So I'm going to save it for tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for your support, all right? God wins.